Hey, before we get started, this is a podcast. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But if you're here for what's in the thumbnail, there's a chapter marker. You can jump straight to that. But we're doing our normal podcast thing. So stick around if you're, never seen the show before. And otherwise, you probably know what's up. But anyway, thanks for being here and enjoy. Welcome to Sad Boyz, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
New England, the 4 New England colonies of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Hampshire relied on fishing, farming, shipbuilding, and
He's
seafaring.
studying for his green card.
So this is not a criticism. Why didn't you guys change the names? After you guys rebel, I don't want to be with England anymore. You had your big tantrum.
Yeah, we did.
With your enormous man who did fighting with a sword or whatever.
A very bad boat, by the way. Get a bigger boat.
Bad boat, bad bloke.
Get a bigger boat.
But then you keep the same names on everything.
New York was originally called New Amsterdam.
Why'd they mix that up? When did you mix that up? Actually, let me check.
Just like old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why'd they change it? I can't say. People just liked it better that way. Sorry, we talked about They Might Be Giants last episode.
Does anybody else smell toast?
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you to Jacob for providing all 3 of us with literature. Jacob's a big reader.
Yeah, Jacob just completely clocked us. I got the Pocket Player's Guide to Magic the Gathering, and this is from 1994, and I have already stopped myself from reading it because I was like, ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah, we have to do the damn podcast. We're doing Actually Live at MagicCon. Oh, that's right.
And I have been learning as much as I possibly can about magic lore so I don't look like a complete doofus on stage in front of like a bunch of people who came to MagicCon, because I feel like if you go to Vegas to go to a big magic convention, you probably know more about magic than me.
Well, it's all black belts, yeah. You want to be.
And much like Blvd featuring Rivers Cuomo on his 2010 album, The Adventures of B.O.B., I got the magic in me. Sorry.
Yeah, I was every gear spinning in my head. I'm like, okay, no, that's I wasn't with B.O.B.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how Rivers Cuomo has a strange lyrical history, and there's that one track about him having an Asian friend who he's clear that he's not dating, and then one of the lyrics is about the shape of her eyes, and that's pretty weird, isn't it?
Anastasia got a book about Jeff Foxworthy, and You Might Be a Redneck joke.
I didn't see the photo on the back.
It's not a photo, it's a drawing.
No, the photo of Jeff Foxworthy.
Just in case you didn't know who wrote it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anastasia started reading us You Might Be a Redneck jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And we stopped her because we wanted... Yeah, I do. Of course.
Are you kidding me? I want to figure out if I might be a redneck. Can you give us a prompt and we'll guess? We'll guess the punchline.
Okay. You might be a redneck if you slam the door on your truck and...
Your truck says...
No.
No, your truck doesn't speak if you're a redneck. What would happen?
You may be a warlock if you're able to bring your truck to life.
If you cast animate object on your truck, animate artifact,
you might be a sorcerer.
You might be your magic trick. Wow. What would happen? You slam the door on your car and the wheels fall off, and the rims fall off.
That's pretty good.
And the car suffers, like something happens to the car.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And it honks. And it drives away. And it starts.
What might you have in the car if you're a redneck?
Beer?
Gun.
Yes.
And your shotgun shoots out of your shotgun seat. Because if you're a redneck, you have a shotgun under the seat.
And it blows off the head of Ford Taurus.
No, it's you slam the door on your truck and your shotgun creates an instant sunroof.
Okay, that's a little more about where
it's like too much, man.
It's a hat on a hat.
It's a hat on a hat. You don't need instant sunroof.
The shotgun was pointed up?
Well, it's sitting up in the shotgun seat because it yelled shotgun before you guys got in the car.
That makes sense, yeah.
You might be a redneck if your wedding dress was...
made of hay.
That's actually pretty good.
It's like your tablecloth or something like that. Or if your wedding dress was...
This one's not funny in my opinion.
Well, really,
There's
because
not a
before they
heater
were
like
all
the
so
other.
funny.
I was cackling before, but this one, I'm
A
like,
sunroof.
I feel like what you guys are saying is more funny. This
Thank you.
is just kind of normal, I think.
Yeah, it's from your great granny, and it's dusty,
Oh, it's made of mothballs.
and it's musty, and it's dusty, and it's musty.
It's ashy.
You might be a redneck if your wedding dress was a leopard skin print.
Okay.
Oh,
That's more like a design thing.
yeah. I guess my neighbor, some of my neighbors, their mom growing up, she wore a lot of leopard print. I guess she was a redneck.
Again, that I guess was the case.
Or a
Yep.
leopard. Anastasia just came back from Africa. Did you see any leopards?
So
They get
I
married?
think I saw a leopard. It was in a
But it was a
bush.
redneck.
But it was a gal in her wedding
You
dress.
might be a leopard if you get married. Or something.
But it
There's
was
actually-
a gal in a wedding dress. But it was actually a wedding.
This is a hotly disputed situation amongst our group. Half
Whether
of
I'm a
us
redneck?
believe we saw a leopard, and the other half was like, no, we didn't. But it's because it was in a bush and it was like kind of camouflaged and hard to see.
Mhm.
And we're like, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
We had binoculars. I could see
Honestly,
his nose.
don't judge them like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
don't
kinda
paint
jacked
with a
up.
broad brush. That's a stereotype. When you say that's what they,
They,
do, they
those
really
big
those
cats.
big
Well, it's
cats.
how they drive. That's what they do.
Well, it's sort of in their DNA to be camouflaged.
Right,
Yeah.
it's true. It's true.
You know, have you ever noticed how leopards be driving these days?
They do to their wedding.
To a bush to hide in and bother Anastasia with it?
But yeah, anyway, that's awesome, and I'm sorry that you have that now.
I am.
No, are you
I'm
kidding? I'm
kind
gonna
of.
read it every day.
Can we do a few of these every episode? I'm like a little bit obsessed.
Kind of in.
I really want to get like locked in where I can like guess where it's going.
Yeah.
I mean, do I though?
I like to imagine that he just sat down like every day for a week and wrote like 100 of them a day.
You know what's funny? I immediately thought he hired 12
Yeah,
writers to
that's
write a bunch of them, and he paid them like nickels. Hang on, can we open up ChatGPT?
I feel like they weren't written by rednecks, that's for sure.
Write me a "you might be a redneck" joke in the style of Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh.
Well, it just
It got about a line in.
it wrote it literally. What the hell? It wrote the joke and then it deleted it and said this content may violate our usage policies.
ChatGPT.
Oh, because it's like we don't want to steal the IP of Jeff
Yeah.
What's
Foxworthy.
going on here?
Yeah, that's
wait. Can
wild.
we screen record? Okay.
Did it just? Ooh, interesting. You might be a
It
redneck.
literally starts. Also, the
It did so
location,
much.
and then it stops. What was it saying?
You might be a redneck if your favorite home improvement store is also the location. What's the closest to that format of comedy right now?
Oh wait, Google Gemini.
Oh.
Okay, Google Gemini didn't stop themselves. They said you might be a redneck if your idea of a vacation is driving to the lake, fishing, and then complaining about how the fish are biting. What?
not really a joke.
That's just like a normal scenario.
Not really a joke. But
That's
it's
something
sort of-
you did. That's something you
Yeah,
did
we went
recently.
to a lake, and it was, we did okay. I guess I might be a redneck.
Did you complain at all?
Well, no, I was very gracious. Maybe that's why I'm so high
You're
class.
not a redneck.
No. Unless that's what you definitely are. Because they don't really clarify what direction the parameters are, right? They're saying you might be a redneck in this scenario. But maybe where you didn't do it is when you're a redneck.
So
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm always tired, but I'm good. Iffy and my episode of Game Nights came out today. Duskmorn themed. We filmed it a while back. And
Ridiculous production value.
ridiculous production value. And the team over there is like super duper talented. And the visual effects are wild and wacky. And just the producers and obviously like Josh and Jimmy are sweethearts. And, Iffy was there too. And
3 out of 4 sweethearts.
yeah, no, shout out Iffy. Yeah, I'm good. I just got back from New York. I was there for
What is different?
a little YouTube summit. The water, I had a lot of tap water. Let me
Okay.
tell you, there's something in the water over there. It's a little different.
Shrimps.
There's a little crustaceans.
Tiny
Uh,
bagels.
And I had so many bagels because I would get like a bacon, egg, and cheese. I got it bacon, egg, and cheese like most days.
Respect.
Which I felt like I had to culturally.
What, different locales?
Yeah, mixed it up a little bit, but not too much because I was mostly in Brooklyn. Because not only was this thing that I was at in Brooklyn, but Russell stays in Brooklyn. Russell, who has been on Sad Boyz Nightz. My
Former friend.
probably my longest active friendship right now. Active friendship where we like talk a lot still. So I stay with Russell and Katie, and they were sweethearts. I told Russell he can come back on the show whenever he comes here. Snickers and I became great friends.
Come on, what are we doing here? You're Olive.
So Snickers and I, this is kind of a record of our friendship.
So cute.
I'm also wearing the Sad Boyz merch that I'm also wearing right now. It's only going to be available for a few more weeks.
Also wearing it. And the pants.
Yeah, wearing the sweatpants right now. It's going to be available for a few more weeks.
Clock's ticking.
There's also a. We'll let you know when the last ditch effort is, but maybe we'll put a date probably in next week's episode so that you know. But then we'll also send out an email blast if you're like on our Patreon. Or on our mailing list for the merch, which is at sadboyz.llc or sadboyz.store should redirect you there. Eventually, we're moving to sadboyz.store. We had a bit of a mix-up with our domains, but...
as we always say, no grand obligation. But
no grand obligation.
We're happy with it.
Discretionary entertainment spending. This is more like discretionary merchandise spending, I guess.
Looking incredible spending.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of people who are, enjoying the quality. I will note that there's also a patron exclusive color that's available on our Patreon. But it does run dark and runs a little faded, and it's blue. And some people aren't sure if that was intentional. So for anybody who wants a refund, you can reach out to support.
If that's not quite what you fancy.
If that's not quite what you fancy, because we're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. But there is a patron exclusive color available on our Patreon. And I think it's cool. I don't have one yet. It's like on the way here because we forgot to get it.
I know we got tests of everything, and then I sort of forgot to get the thing. Yeah. Like aside from these sweatpants, I think these are the official ones, and
I have, no. We have everything else, and I've been basically got a million pairs of everything, and I just won't stop wearing it. I was like traveling with it. I just love that it's a good thing for me to wear and like relaxing.
I mean, I am at a tricky point now where it's very rare that sweatpants are like long enough for my legs, and these just happen to work. Then I have the t-shirt, which is I always have available ready to go. It's long enough for my torso. And then it's a lanky function.
These are funny pros to the things. The t-shirt, it fits my weird body.
But then we made sure that the baseball cap was like the exact, my favorite kind. Because there's just like a certain proportion that is the one I like, especially when my hair's starting to get a little too long for what I like. And that's happening right now. And I did go to the local coffee shop, and I was wearing 3 pieces. Oh, I might be a redneck. Anyway, I went down to the local cafeteria. My refectory break, I was able to fetch upon myself and precluding myself from any food. I did, in fact, indulge in a caffeinated beverage.
Why is your vocabulary getting better?
I think isn't that the cowboy way? It's like verbose. I like that.
Are you looking to solve any mysteries anytime soon?
Well, I do. I don't suppose you have upon yourself a question mark with which I can perceive and recreate into a period. I appear to be having a stroke. I'm from Stroud, Gloucestershire, in England, and yet I find it's the hat.
It's the hat.
What do you have a cowboy? Was this manifested?
So this
from
was
the book?
at the event I was at. We had like a roller skating night that was like Western themed.
Fuck yeah!
And yeah,
like like they had back in the Old West.
Yeah, like they had back in the Old West. They had roller rinks.
Get that cowpoke out of here!
He skates away.
Whoa!
Trying to catch Jesse James when he's like whipping around the sand dunes.
Yeah, we and oh my gosh, I have a wild like kind of travel experience to speak about. But I want to first hear how you're doing because you just went on a trip as well.
I just I hit went down to old Detroit, brought this sweater today, realized it's not my sweater. I was like, did we pick this up while we were there? No, Katie's had this for like years. She's left this at my place.
You went to the 313.
I went to the 313, and it was second time going to Michigan. Went just a trip to see.
So you went
Katie's
to
family.
Michigan, is what you're saying?
I Michiganed, and I missed for the last. Okay. Thanks. No, it was really nice. It's I think maybe the first time I've been on a plane for leisure reasons in like years, and it did deafen me. The air pressure, for whatever reason, did completely knock out. I mean, we talked about it pre-show, but
right,
ear fluid, blah blah blah. We both had it, but so apologies to the audience if at any point I appear to miss something or have to ask for clarification. Apologies to Jacob in the edit in case you have to cut out me going, oh, I can't hear a word. I'm elderly. I do declare I'm too old. I'm dying. It was really surreal because I felt at times just like very uncomfortable about how not on top of things I was. But I didn't have my laptop with me. It was like not being ready for a visa related thing.
Hey, kudos to not bringing your laptop.
Yeah, that was
it's important to unplug.
Especially couldn't log into Architect. Couldn't work on any of my things all the time. You just do it on mobile.
Big mistake. One thing I've noticed about life, Jordan, is that fit is very important. Whether I'm putting on pants, taking off pants,
putting them back on,
putting pants back on.
Keep them on now. You're in public.
My pants are on and they fit. And fit is also important when it comes to choosing the right doctor.
You shouldn't have to compromise when you're searching for a doctor to fit your own specific needs.
And you don't have to, thanks to today's sponsor, Zocdoc. Zocdoc is a free app and website that allows you to search and compare high-quality in-network doctors that fit your specific needs and click to instantly schedule an appointment.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty.
From mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, you can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are nearby, who can fit any specific medical need that you have, and are highly rated amongst verified patients.
You can also see their actual appointment openings, select a time that works for you, and do it with just one click.
Plus, Zocdoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score the mythical same-day appointment. Now, this is a utility, right? It's not an endorsement of specific doctors or anything like that. It's really just a platform to help people find the doctor that works for them.
When I first moved to the US, literally the only way that I could find any kind of appointments from San Francisco to LA, exact same problem solved by Zocdoc. I am a legitimate power user.
So stop doing what I did and waiting to the last possible moment to book a doctor's appointment and head on over to Zocdoc.com/sadboyz to instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/sadboyz.
Did you raw dog the flight?
I did not raw dog the flight. I was... Okay, well, two important highlights from the trip. One, on the way out, me and Katie, we typically just, we download a bunch of episodes or whatever if we're going somewhere, and we one AirPod each, right? One, I think, very cool, down-to-earth, regular salt-of-the-earth type dude thing. We went on a fishing trip. Went out technically into Ontario waters, so apologies to...
Is that allowed?
Lock me up. I'm in trouble. Maybe. Check. Oh, no.
No, it's not.
Had to get a day license, so-and-so. It was really fun. We got some hooters. We caught a couple bangers, catch and release. I am proud of that. Something I'm not as proud of. I've been fighting this my entire life. And there is nothing that frustrates me more than someone telling me to watch something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to watch this. You have to play it.
Right.
Let alone the entire culture I was raised in telling me I had to do that.
Right.
Me refusing, but
You're talking about the video that they play on the planes.
Yeah, I'm like,
they say
no,
you have to watch this.
That's not where the
Put
door
on your
is.
Damn seatbelt.
I'll watch it if you let me have a go driving the plane.
I'm the president here of Delta, and I'm here to tell you that we do the planes.
La 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 la. Not listening. La la la.
We make planes and they go in the air. They go big fly.
They ain't gonna fly off. No, these doors stay on.
Now go ahead and have a good time and be nice to our staff, because here at Delta, we're family.
Awesome.
I feel like
Live
have you
Moss.
seen those videos? I feel like I've lived through multiple generations of different Delta CEOs, like chiming in to be like, we're a good old family business here at multi-billion-dollar corporation. Okay, no, but what did you have to watch? What did you watch?
I got into Doctor Who.
Oh.
Yeah, I got into Doctor Who. We, as a collective, me
Oh, it
and
does feel
Katie-
very you and Katie coded together.
I
as a group.
know. We got into the Capaldi season because I liked.
Oh, because
Eccleston.
Capaldi joined after. It was after Tenet.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Smith. Sorry.
No, Matt Smith. Yeah.
The last I had watched was some Tenant left the UK. I've always been a little resistant to the show because my mom always hated it, and I always kind of hated elements of it. And then like the culture around it was very annoying, and then it became very Tumblr core, and so I resistant. And part of it was girls watch this. I don't watch stuff with girls.
Right.
For boys, I watch cool. I watch something cool. Like,
Why doesn't he just say who he is? What do you mean, Doctor Who?
Oh.
Identify yourself.
Doctor, why are you being like this? But I watched it. There's little bits of cringe. Don't get me wrong. I found the Matt Smith stuff very off-putting. I like Matt Smith as a performer. Nothing against him. Just it was very late epic win bacon, and I just couldn't. I'm wearing I'm putting on a fez. Like I couldn't handle it.
Right.
The Capaldi shit is so fucking good.
Oh, really?
We only watched the follow-up season because I don't know. We were curious about a bunch of stuff in it, and Katie hadn't seen any of it. I genuinely, I think, really good. It's not perfect, and it gets a little. I never enjoyed any of when I had seen episodes in the past because you just can't escape it in the UK.
Right.
It's like not. We had to just read Doctor Who because read Harry Potter because it's like what's happening. I'd seen maybe half of Eccleston through Tennant, and I've never been a fan of the forced lore element where it's like, okay, now we're doing a 3-parter episode and it all links in together and it's nothing set up prior, it's just all in the same little loop. And I'm like, I like these. What I respect so much about the great episodes of that show is that it's almost like a great sketch where they're taking an idea, a really creative, really weird idea, and burning it and just saying like, we're doing this in 40 minutes. We could make a series out of this. We can make a movie out of this. Nope. Great premise. Boom. Done. Gone. And then they start to reincorporate stuff. There's a huge arc of that season that's about the Cybermen. I was like, I just don't care. Like the last 3 episodes are fine. But then that like Peter Capaldi dude, it was really fun. And it did make me think, because we've talked in the past about like music that we kind of lied in school or whatever. And like, oh, I don't like that kind of thing. Like, whatever. I'm like, what is this? Actually, it's just been on my mind a lot, really, It's very easy, and we've talked about it before, to critique things like masculine performance, right? Some of the more toxic element of gender performance. For some reason, till very recently, I never started interrogating like authenticity or what I can consider authentic as a similar holding myself back from enjoying things. I've been in the US, almost 10 years, and I am still very self-conscious about like using certain terms or missing certain things or saying aluminum. And there's these things stick in, but no one is calling that out. It's for a fictional version of a British person I bump into that's mean to me about it. And I feel the exact same way about like wearing certain things, presenting certain way, even having like certain types of like my hair length for whatever reason, having it at can I touch your hair level? That's like irrational. I don't want people to do that, but they don't do that anymore. Not here. I felt so self-conscious about just watching Doctor Who on a plane, despite having, and we had a good time watching it. Made the flight fly by. Come on now. Now sleep.
Rude.
I do. I don't know. Like
911.
How are you?
I just want to talk.
What are you doing? But I don't know. I kind of wanted to ask the rest of you about like, is there anything that you feel like still you're actively fighting against to enjoy, or at least not judge others or push others on?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was the show Silicon Valley, because I when that was airing, I was working in tech, And so like everybody was talking about it, everybody was watching it, and I was like, I don't want to go go home from my job and then watch a show that's like a parody of my job. Like I have no interest in it because it's like not the type of parody that's like, it's like a little bit too real, actually. You know, like and I watched the first episode of Silicon Valley recently with a friend, and like I don't know why. I think they brought it up or it came up on one of the streaming services, and I was right to avoid it. It is exactly what I thought it was, and it is just a series of psychic damage jokes for Jarvis. Like every single joke in that show is just like something that I'm like,
Is it at least sort of objectively well constructed? Like these jokes?
Yeah. And, you know, very talented, you know, writers, very talented actors. It's just that the actual like construction of the show is like almost, it feels like a it's more like if someone who works at a paper company watches The Office, they don't go like, ugh, Dunder Mifflin, it reminds me of my job, because they barely ever talk about the fucking paper company.
Yeah, it's
right?
a framing device.
Whereas like Silicon Valley, every single reference is about technology and about, you know, math and about nerds and about CEOs that are like doing things and about the like exorbitant spending of like the tech industry. It like opens on like a Kid Rock concert into somebody talking about like some new feature that they're launching. And these are just things that happen in real life. It's not even a joke at that point because it is a parody. It is a self-parody. The tech industry is a self-parody of itself.
I just found the aesthetics off-putting for that exact reason. It's like, it gave me this smell of The Office, like not the show, like our Patreon office.
Right.
And not, we both liked working there.
Oh yeah.
It is just like that office, the final office before we left, walking into that building just had a smell to it. It had like a cleanliness more so than anything. And I would walk in and go like, oh, I'm at work. Like now I've shifted. I'm not doing certain things now. I'm swearing less, like I'm at work. And there's just something like cosmetically about that show where because I also never watched it at the time. I would try watching it and go like, whoa, all right. Okay.
It's also
I'm no longer relaxed
because of how they consulted for that show. Like Mike Judge, like did a lot of like walkthroughs and interviews with people, and like one of those people was like Yelp and like Jeremy Stoppelman, like the CEO of Yelp. And so not only had like Mike Judge come and talked to our company, like after doing that show, like while I was at Yelp, and that is why it hits too close to home. There's also stories taken directly from my job.
That's weird.
In that show. Like there's apparently a storyline. I don't actually know because I haven't watched the show, but I heard that there's a thing about someone changing the code base from tabs to spaces. And that was like a thing that actually happened at our work, and specifically I like know who did it, and I know all the drama and all.
There was drama. There was
just like the hoops that everything was jumping through, and like there wasn't as much drama probably as if there was drama in the show, but just like things like that, it's like it feels more like not entertainment.
Yeah,
it's like the like psychic damage to like to like sort of professional trauma I have associated.
I'm imagining a world where I try watching a show like that, and there's an entire season arc about rebranding the language on the website, and then redoing all the copy on a certain website we previously worked for. That was I don't know, 8 months of my life.
What's that movie? The Proposal. Have I talked about this?
Is that the Ryan Reynolds?
Reynolds, Sandra Bullock. Yeah,
he's being exploited for his visa.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that movie has so much stuff that like I was like. We also watched that movie, and I was like, dude, this is just the day of triggering actual real life experiences, because there's like there's like so many scenes with immigration lawyers, and I'm just like, I don't need this right now, dude.
Every time I've seen a clip from that movie, I'm just like, this is exactly the same as what you're like. You're always doing this.
Yeah,
you're always like, you have to marry me right now,
right?
Or the other way around, or whatever happens in the stupid
I do
movie.
that. Okay. So, real quick, I'll get into like my little travel story. So, I almost missed my flight out of New York, and I was like early to the flight, like it was still open, but I think that I was like too late to check a bag, and uh, I actually brought my big suitcase because I thought I might accumulate stuff. And I put my small suitcase inside of my big suitcase and just checked that. And so when I went back, I didn't end up with a whole suitcase full of stuff. It was like I had my small suitcase still inside of my big suitcase, and I was just gonna check that again. And then there was like a few things like clothes or whatever that was like around my small suitcase. And so when I get there, I first like try to do the expedited. You actually pay because it's curbside, like to put your bags on the plane. And I knew I was like running slightly late for this, so I was like, "Oh, I'll pay." And then the person was just like, "No, you can't." And I was like, "Sorry, what?" And then they were like, "It's closed." And they just like weren't giving me enough information. And then I was like, "Okay." And then I just like went inside and I tried to go to the help desk, but instead I went to the information desk. So rookie mistake.
I don't need information. I need help.
So I went to the information desk and they go, "Yeah, no, it's closed. But you've got to go to but maybe you can go to the help desk."
I cannot help
and then
you.
The help desk is like down the way over there. And I'm like, "Oh, so they're different." Okay. Because all the bag drop, and then like when I see like a big bag drop area and then a bunch of agents, I assume that that's the help desk also.
More often than not, it's just people standing around.
And they're like,
near
no,
the
we
rest.
can't help you. And in the moment, I'm like in a bit of a rush, so I don't have time to think about it. But I'm like, what do you help with?
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's just sitting around, and I'm like, is this okay? Whatever. And then I like keep going. I go, and I don't even want to name the airline or anything because I don't want to do that thing,
Let's just call it like a hypothetical name.
Yeah, like Delta Airlines.
something
Right?
like that.
That's a reference to
Old
John
Mulaney
Mulaney's
joke,
joke. Don't worry,
Come
it's not
on.
actually Delta. Here at Delta, we. But anyway, so then I go down to the help desk. I like get in line, and getting. I think one of the worst things about air travel is when you're in a rush and then you have to get in a line. It creates maybe some of the worst like human psychological like responses to things ever.
It's
like
the Stanford prison experiment, but everyone's the prisoner.
Yeah.
And you've also just walked extra fast, and when you stop and you start sweating extra.
And they're all watching like a long rope, a long fuse to a bomb, like sort of like a cartoon, like just like running. And then they're like, the fucking bomb is going to explode. I need to get through this line. I get to the front finally. And there's, by the way, a few people who are in exactly my situation. So I wonder, there's like on the order of like 3 to 4 people in exactly my situation for the exact same flight. So I wonder if they just like closed it earlier than expected because we were all kind of in the same boat here. And
you ended up just all waiting around.
Well, we were sitting in this line to the help desk. And so I finally get up to the help desk and I'm like, "Hey, here's the situation." And then they're like, "Yeah, it's too late to."
The shy.
It's too late to do it. I was like, "Sorry?" Like, "Yeah, you're too late to check the bag." It's like, "But the flight's delayed for 5 to 10 minutes. So, and I'm like, "The flight is delayed for 10, 15 minutes. So she's like, "Yeah, so if you don't check the bag. So if I don't check the bag, I can go." And it's like, "Yeah, you can.
I don't know.
You can not check the bag." Okay, so what you're telling me is if I don't check a bag, I can make it to my gate. And they're like, "I suppose so." I suppose you suppose so. Okay.
Well, that would be at the information desk because that's information.
Yeah. So I was caught in a loop, and I'm still in New York right now. And then and all these people are just doing their job, and it's fine. But
it's the infrastructure that sucks.
So I had 2 people, and that's again why I'm not like naming the airline because I just don't want. There's no point. It's just I just want to tell this like story that was stressful for me, And it's also like I should have gotten there earlier, blah blah blah. And everything's fine. And I could have even called like the travel agency helpline if I was really in like a pinch. But the situation where you're like, I just want to figure out I want to solve these problems myself. I don't want to inconvenience anybody. I just want to get my stuff done. So the travel agency, because Google did, like YouTube flew us out for this event. And so then, but I never want to be inconvenienced on anyone. So anyway, I probably would have rather paid out of pocket than like called someone. But anyway, and so I'm like, okay, so I don't check my bag and I can probably make it. Because I was also like, I have pre-check, so I should be able to get through security pretty quick. I opened up my big bag and I was like, how can I stuff everything in this big bag and the small bag in my backpack? Basically like stuffing it. Like, with no abandon. And then I'm like, what do I leave behind? I'm like trying to make all these quick decisions because I'm like, I hope nothing's important getting left behind. And so I'm just like stuffing things. And then I overfill the suitcase and I'm like, I don't know how to get this thing closed. So then I start sitting on my suitcase. I'm like kind of bouncing. I'm bouncing on it. I'm sitting on. I'm
cowboy.
I'm sitting on my suitcase, reverse cowgirl, and it's starting to like bow out. So it's like a little like overfull, and it's like a hard shell like suitcase thing. And eventually, I like get it zipped, and then it's so funny. Like I had like I brought running shoes with me so that I could like do exercise, running or whatever I needed to do or walking. And I put one shoe like in the suitcase and then the second shoe wouldn't fit. So I took one shoe out and like I stuffed the shoe in my backpack. So when I'm going through security, there's just like one shoe like kind of like turned like just in the backpack. So everything's like in the wrong place.
Yeah, it looks like an AI generated image. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly. Like identify one image in this thing. So then I go, so then I'm like, got a mostly empty suitcase, save for like some socks, you know, fallen soldiers, some socks and some other things where I was just like, whatever, this underwear, these socks, who cares? And I was like, so can I get rid of this suitcase? She's like, yeah, if you put it next to the trash bins and just leave it open, it'll be fine. And so I was like, okay, because you don't want to leave it closed because then it's like a security hazard and they're all the intercom and
all
those things.
That seems a lot very balmy.
So I opened the suitcase and it's all open except for a few socks or whatever. I think there still could be like something's very important to my life that is still in that suitcase that I just left there.
Medication, some TNT,
and then I start like sprinting to the gate. It's one of those mazes like like how they do with the lines for security where it's snakes. And I got in one and there's no exit way, so I like got into one and because the signs were misleading and they were like, oh, pre-check, you're gonna have to like maze snake back out of this and go to the thing. And I didn't want to like jump, I didn't want to hurdle over one of them because I thought I might get in trouble. And people are just weird at the airport, so if I just like at anything, I didn't want to get held up by any other thing. So then I go back to running down the way to get to the TSA pre-check line, and I'm sweating like crazy. I already sweat a lot, but I was sweating like super intensely. And then as if it was a cartoon, I'm wearing my hat, and my hat keeps flying off while I'm like running, and it keeps flying off, and I'm like catching it, and then I'm just like kind of like juggling it in the air.
Your tie keeps curling up.
Yeah. And
is there toilet paper on the bottom of one shoe?
And then I finally get to the TSA pre-check line, and it's like the longest TSA pre-check line I've ever seen. There's all these people in front of us. But then these two women behind me were, they were on the same flight, and they were also like rushing. Mm-hmm. And so with them and with me, people were like, oh, are your flight's boarding? And we're like, yeah. And so they all let us skip. So they let the three of us skip.
Hell yeah.
And so thank you to our compatriots. And sorry, that was my left hand. Thank you to our compatriots.
I was your left-handed.
And I am left-handed. So
and a traitor.
So so then we're going through, and I'm just hoping that like nothing beeps. That's not, because I've been in that situation before. Like I missed a flight once because my air tag and my wallet fell out. And it was in my pants, and I didn't know it was in my pants, and I kept tripping the thing, and they kept having me go back through it, and I was like stun locked trying to like.
Was that as at the?
Yeah. And oh,
that fucking sucks.
Yeah. And so
easy to find you though.
Yeah, easy to find me. And so then we like get through security, and then we're just running, and we're running, and we finally like thankfully the two women were ahead of me, and I was like running to the point of like I like needed to stop because I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because I was like just panting. I was like running too hard.
What's going to delay me more, not missing my flight or dying on the floor?
Yeah. And so then, I see one of them in front of me. So I'm like, as long as I can, I felt like I was at a fighting game. I'm like, as long as, this person is still like locking the interaction between the gate agent, I can like get in behind them and they'll still like be able to let me in.
Oh, frame perfect.
Yeah. I was like, as long as I'm within this window. So I like saw them and I eventually get up and then they just go, "Are you Jarvis?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they were like, "We were calling you." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't notice."
I love the smart house videos.
I was running. Anyway, this is the wrong gate.
Oh,
you're playing left.
oh, sorry.
And so I finally get on the plane and I'm just like sweating bullets and I have exercise induced asthma. So I start coughing and I know that it's not like an illness or anything. It's literally just like this hoarse coughing that's like coming from like my lungs,
but but the rest of them
I'm
don't
sure people
know.
think, and then I'm also sweating, and then they need to check my bag, and then the bag guy was missing, and then there's a woman
missing.
Yeah, they were like, "Where did the bag guy go?" Like one of the flight attendants.
He's stuck in the
because they're
overhead.
like, "There's no overhead bin space. We need the bag guy," and then thankfully he finally showed up at the last minute, and then a woman behind me was like, "Yeah, like this airline always loses bags on flights to this airport." And I'm just like thinking about, I'm
already one bag down.
I'm like, please don't. Why are you telling me this right now?
Hey, do you know this airline's famous for crashing? Anyway, take a seat.
Anyway, this is the plane, the famous plane.
The super
This is
crashy
the one with no door plug.
50% crash rate.
And Seinfeld on talking about Boeing.
What's going on?
50% crash rate.
Where's the door?
Where? He just sucks out, gets sucked out of the plane.
What's the do?
What's the?
They should make the whole door out of the black box.
So yeah, I did get on the plane. I was like sitting in my seat, drenched in sweat, and
oh, that's so frustrating. When you're sat down, you're like, we don't need to sweat anymore.
yeah,
Bodies stop now.
I think I have a photo. So that's like me at the gate before they tell me that the bag guy is missing, because I'm in line now, because that's like when everyone's boarding the plane. And so we still got there were still people who hadn't boarded yet when I got there. So I still had probably a few more minutes, but obviously you don't take any chances.
They were still stun locked.
Yeah. You can see the sweat on this, new Sad Boyz merch available now. Discretionary merchandise income only. You can see the hat.
It's available for another couple of weeks, you said?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the hat that kept falling off of my head.
Your hair is
Fighting. It's fighting for its life.
a non-fixable problem. That's fair.
Okay. So then, this is like the condensation on my glasses from my body heat.
I thought perhaps you had.
No, I took the glasses off and just had them hanging on my thing. And then they were you can't really see it here, but they're like completely fogged up.
Even the glasses are sweating.
Yeah, even my glasses are sweating. And then the last photo is just like me sweating in my seat.
It's
But
like a Greek tragedy.
yeah, I'm upset looking here, but I'm actually happy that I made the flight, because there were no more flights out that day to Burbank, which is where I was flying to. There were flights to LAX, but I would have had to like buy a new flight in order to get on that.
What was that? The brand name of the pet therapy thing we saw when we got to Burbank last time. There is a service. In fact, have we talked to either of you about this?
Yeah, I think we did.
I want, maybe Jacob, I want you to guess what the function of
I'm going to pull
this.
this up. Yeah. Wait, I got it.
So like a billboard or whatever when we were leaving Burbank.
Waggage claim.
Waggage claim. Do you want to guess the function of waggage claim at Burbank Airport?
Is it to
I'll
pick up your pet?
I'll even tell you. So yeah, I'll give you the context that we saw a billboard at the Burbank Airport that said "Waggage claim pet therapy."
Waggage claim pet therapy?
What does that mean?
It is not picking up your pet.
Is it for your pet's emotional baggage?
Great second guess.
Great guess.
Also no. You'd think the further from what makes sense, the
Do
better.
they provide the pet for your own therapy?
Ooh, yeah, you got it.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, they have an area where, like, apparently, if you have just if you have flight anxiety that is
not
severe enough that you don't go to the airport to begin with, and that you make it to your gate and go through all the things, but then you're just scared to get on the plane, maybe, then there's like some pets that you can pet.
And then taking off is, I mean, again, good luck.
I thought it was going to be something about like traveling with your pets and making sure that they weren't anxious on the plane.
We did just do that when we go to Mish. When we go to Mish again, we take Foxy. We got her in the little backpack. Actually, Jake, I'm going to send you a photo. She's being backpack dog. It opens up, like you can expand it by like 50%. But she doesn't like that. She wants to be. And by the way, the way she's sat right now is completely unnecessary. She's using 20% of the bag. It looks like we got too small a bag.
Also, she'll let you know that she doesn't like something because this is the yappiest dog I've ever met.
The yap chap, brother.
Yeah.
She's we've done a really good job lately of like, she's yapless with just the two of us now.
Oh, that's great.
And she's still learning. She hadn't met a lot of people before. She is such a flirt. She loves you, and she loves Keenan.
Because it's like if a guest comes over that she likes and they don't pay her attention in the way that she wants,
30% attention tax on income. Yes.
She will like sort of walk around you and bark and jump up and down, and it's like, are you upset? And but then you like pet her or pick her up, and then she's like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, this is what I'm all about.
She's like, actually, this was all I was crazy back there. I was really going through it. Thank you for comforting me and giving me. I just had some stuff I was going through.
I haven't been in my backpack for a while.
Thank you for I hadn't scrunched myself up to 10% of my backpack.
Yeah, I haven't missed a fantastic myself into a bag. But yeah, she has been better on the yap chapping. But it is a 30% federal attention tax required on every visit.
When I was in the Albuquerque airport, there were just...
Is that one hell also? Like you said about, was it New Mexico?
I like Albuquerque. New Mexico's great. I loved New Mexico. But they had this crew of older ladies who volunteered with their dogs, just walking around the airport letting you pet their dogs.
That's really fun.
So I got further confirmation this past week that I am introverted because during this event, a lot of creators were there, and like the goal was to like socialize and also talk to YouTube and talk.
Is this like a thing, an event people just know about, or this was a?
It's called YouTube Summit. It is like a very private event, and it's invite only.
To the peak of a mountain.
I went in 2019, and I haven't been invited back until this year. But it's been happening.
What did you do?
I know. Well, just because like a lot of the people are like big YouTubers, and I'm like kind of a hard sell, I think, for just like because I'm on the smaller end of things. But like compared to your like Marquez Brownlees of the world, who was there, there was a person who I've made a video about there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they did come up to me.
It's happened again.
It happened again. And we will be telling the story on our Patreon episode, Sad Boyz Nightz. Jarvis is approached by another subject of a video.
We wish we could say it publicly, but Nightz is actually just for kind of
it's
safety of the gossip.
It's the safety of it. I don't want to put the person on public blast, but I do think the story is funny. So that is available, but it's not important, and it's not going to come up in public. Like, we're not going to mention it or call back to it other than the fact that it happened.
But for $5, maybe I'll do it. If you sign up for $5, maybe I will say it. I don't know.
But no, I'll say it. I'll say it on the nights.
He'll say anything.
But again, it's like, well, I mean, that's all I'll say. I don't want to.
Let's just say the name and address necessary.
Okay.
And that's all I'll be saying.
But the introvert did thing. I like just truly the amount of times I needed to retreat to like a bathroom or like my room in the hotel to get away from people. There was a lunch that was like wedding seating, and I always thought I was like kind of an ambivert where it's like
a circular table.
No, wedding seating in terms of you're assigned a number and then you go to that table,
right?
And everyone, I cannot stress enough how much everyone was nice, and no one did anything wrong. My discomfort and lack of like energy resulted in me leaving the lunch, I basically said because there was also like some employees there, like some YouTube people there, and I was like, hey, also my partner manager listens to Sad Boyz, so this is a little story for her as well. But I like realized I was at my limit. I was like a little overstimulated, and I basically just said, hey, I gotta deal with something upstairs. I probably pointed at my phone. I was like, I gotta go deal with the thing.
My dog's
and I just went to my hotel room and I sat for 3 hours.
I have to go sit.
And during that time, I got a text that was like, there's puppies on the 4th floor. And I couldn't even get out of my bed for puppies. And that's when I knew.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I knew. I wanted so badly to go see those puppies.
The motion in between is also exhausting. Like from laying or sitting to going to, like knowing that at the end of your walk is more people and stuff.
Because that's the thing. It's like, you never know when you're going to have to, and I don't want to be, the thing is, everyone is so nice, and some people I've met before and I've only seen like here and there. So you're going to have the, oh, how have you been type conversations, which I want to fully show up for. You know what I mean? I want to fully be there. I don't want to be like, I'm super exhausted or anything like that, or be off-putting in any way. And so I feel like I solved that by like not leaving until I'm like ready for that. And so in my mind, I was like, we've got the Western roller rink event at 6:30, and I don't think I can leave until then. I'm like emotionally prepping myself for that. So even though it's puppies, I have to stay in bed. Mm-hmm. And it's like so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But I hope, I'm sure people like get it because they've probably been in similar situations where it's like there's no amount of anything that could like get me out of the.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like I just needed to recharge because I just knew I was going to be doing another leg of like 5 hours of socializing.
And not only do you want to have the nicest time possible, but you also want to serve the other people you're around socially, right? You don't want to be bad, socially ungenerous because you're in your own.
And what I'll give myself credit for is that when I contributed, I like locked in. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like did like, no one's going to go like, oh, Jarvis didn't contribute. It was like, no, I was there. I was active. I was making my presence known. But then I also needed to sneak away, and I didn't even sneak away like if the lunch had come out sooner, because it was like it was a restaurant attached to the hotel.
Oh, the food, you hadn't done the food yet. It was
no,
just
so I skipped the meal. I think I just got room service and paid like an exorbitant amount for room service.
For one shrimp and a shrimp cocktail and half a Diet Coke.
And we had like some vouchers for the hotel restaurant. But like it was a situation where I had talked to everyone at the table. We'd had like lots of very fruitful and interesting conversations. I had run out of like knobs to turn. Mm-hmm. Like if I can give myself a job at a party or a place, like then it keeps me there. Like if I can if I can start helping Jacob with the hot dogs, then it gives me like it allows me to extend my time where otherwise I would be like, I otherwise need to go in a corner. Yeah. And because I just don't do well with nothing. And so then it was like, it was almost like I was trying to run the marathon of like a 2-hour lunch after having done a bunch of other like round tables and talks and things like that. And I realized an hour into the marathon that my legs were giving out.
There's also an energy.
The food hadn't come out yet. So I was like, I don't even have the food to, because if I can just be eating food, that's an activity that I can like pretend like I'm normal. And
then a post-food chat, it has a different energy and it's brief. Post-food chat has
different, and then I could even go, oh, I'm so stuffed, I need to go lay down. Like run
I gotta go jack off. I'm so full of food. There is an energy deficit that just comes from not being at home. Travel, you've already traveled, new place, hotel room, and you're at like 40% strength anyway.
And I'll say like it's a champagne problems. It's a very privileged position to even be in to begin with. But I'm just acknowledging where I'm at with my own, relationship with my own energy.
Yeah, and I mean the sensation would exist either way. There's no like life circumstances that take away comfort level with that. I think the doing something part is interesting because it is also like it is in both of our cases, it's self-consciousness overtaking reality to some extent. I know there's, so we'll go home from something and be like, was I such a fucking idiot? Everybody, I was so annoying, everyone hated, whatever. Either ultimately know it's not true or even get confirmation if there's somebody you're close enough to, like at that party and you ask them, whatever. But the other, I really do feel bad when I leave something and felt like I was not reciprocally giving to the other person or other people, but then also the time at that thing is compromised if all I'm doing is investing in, because I'm not networking, right? Like at a house party or something, it's people we know.
Yeah.
But then it is like, well, what if it's
people whose
enough
company I enjoy? You know what I mean? It's just like I have to be honest with myself.
Well, you host the majority of the kind of bigger parties we have, and that feels like it.
And that gives me a schema. I think it's like it gives me like there's a bag of tasks and things that I can do. If I'm hosting, I'm always allowed to leave a conversation.
You have KPIs.
Yeah. If I'm hosting, I'm always allowed to be like, just checking in. You need anything? I put myself to work.
Mm-hmm.
I just like can check on everybody else. If I'm ever reaching overstimulation in a conversation, I could be like, all right, I got to go run around.
Mm-hmm.
Like people get it. Oh, they go, oh no, you're the host. It's fine. So it's like it's a environment where it's okay to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah,
and it's always okay. But there's just like there's no social expectation. It's also okay in the context of social dynamics. So I think that's why I enjoy hosting.
We're also fortunate to have I feel like we've cultivated, at least in our closer friendships, an understanding of that might be like, we each have our own little traits and little idiosyncrasies with that. And the people we're close to know about that and even silently can acknowledge and understand it. But then also a lot of the people we've cultivated friendships with are either similar or appreciative of those things and are like, I have a handful of people who are a same day, like Evan. I'll text Evan and just be like, hey, you want to get coffee right now? Because we're both always late to everything and we'll figure it out and probably float in and neither of us have anything going on, but it will only be like a 2-hour hangout once a month to catch up and be known each other a long time. And then on the flip side of that is like, I think anything Magic the Gathering oriented, that's got like a couple days buffer because it's usually like we gather. It is a gathering, but then with you, it can just be a quicker thing.
For me,
because
it can
the literacy is there. Right?
Well, also I'm like,
the cube.
Like if we're playing Magic, then I don't worry about anything because it's like that's the task.
There is that framing device.
So now it's lunchly time.
Oh, I'm
the
hungry.
Thing that everybody's talking about
grumble.
is the brand new lunch product from Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul, Lunchly. Many years ago, I somehow ended up on like the Feastables like mailing product list, PR list. And so they would send me stuff and I had no problem with Mr. Beast or anything like that. But, there's been a lot of crazy allegations that have come out recently and also like a lack of response to those allegations. So
never a great sign.
And then there's also a lot of lawsuits. So I am, never was like a close friend of Mr. Beast, but I was on this PR list and, but I have no allegiances. A couple weeks ago, Instagram made this feature that's quite annoying to me. And I think they've changed it already because probably people complained, where at the top of my conversations, my DMs, you could have sponsored messages from brands.
Mm-hmm.
And Prime sent me a message through one of those and said, hey, let us send you some Prime. And I was like, you know what? This would be kind of funny because I'm just curious. And also, they don't, like, whenever a company like that wants to send me stuff, I'm like, you don't know what I do. Because I'm like, there's a risk here.
Yeah, this is not.
And so I sent
we're not
them,
incentivized to be nice about this.
I sent them my P.O. box because I have it on a shortcut. And so that was all I sent. They were like, just send us your address. And so, not my address, but I sent my P.O. box. And so then they sent a big thing of Prime. And so we were like, oh, it would be fun to review the Prime. And then also I just watched this Legal Eagle video about all of the lawsuits that Prime is engulfed in. And then I also watched the CoffeeZilla video about how Logan Paul is actively suing CoffeeZilla, and I think that's pretty lame.
The most recent time that he's threatened
threatened it.
That's right.
And I think that, personally, I think that Logan Paul has had a lot of opportunities to redeem himself, and is every single time we think that he's rehabilitated into a new version, a new level of ascendance.
He zags
back into kind of the same old. And so
somehow making Jake more likable than him.
I got maybe the most threatening DM I've ever received from a brand, from Lunchly. And I don't know what Lunchly is because I just woke up, and I hadn't seen the press release. So I get a DM from this brand, and this happens all the time. So I just thought Lunchly, is that freshly? Is that
it's at lunch.ly is what it feels like. Yeah,
literally. And it says, Jarvis, Mr. Beast, handshake. Logan Paul, handshake, KSI equals Lunchly. Brought to you by the creators who leave no crumbs.
Wow.
Lunchly, because they eat. They ate, actually, with this.
Good idea, Hunty.
Lunchly features prime hydration, Feastables, and unmatched flavor in every kit. Our friends at Feastables shared your address.
For an exclusive taste.
So that was why it sounded really threatening.
We shared your address for an exclusive taste of your house.
Because I was like, oh, don't do that. Maybe ask.
And don't even, I'll say that.
Also, at first I was like, did they tweet out your address? What did shared your? And then I realized what Lunchly was.
Right, exactly. Our friends at Feastable shared your address for an exclusive taste. Lunchly is on the way. We can't wait to see your taste tests. And so I figured we'd provide them with what they wanted.
Maybe it won't be what they want.
Who knows?
Who's to say?
Here's the thing. I am completely open-minded here. I've seen the discourse, but I'm a free thinker. I'm independent. I am the thinker.
You're unvaccinated.
That's my Twitter account. Yeah. What?
Huh?
Anyway, so I think that we can give this an honest review. Everyone's talking about it, and I know everyone's thinking what did Jarvis and Jordan think? What a Sad Boyz podcast. Think about the new Lunchables competitor that has entered the fray.
With no endorsement of them as a brand, I don't really like any of the people involved in it, but I am curious.
The first thing we notice is that these packages are very heavy because they have a full Prime bottle in them. Or not a full Prime bottle, a half Prime bottle. And
putting this in my kid's backpack as they kind of wobble unstably because it's so big.
Yeah, it's crazy because of how much this is going to knock around. Because it's very heavy on one side. And so all of these boxes are kind of warped. On the side, it says all your faves in one box.
Well, I just have to say, this is the Lunchable element.
Yeah, it's
it's half of the size of the box.
It's so light, and this is just what you buy. You could buy literally just this packed just like this as a Lunchable, and that's who they're competing with. So that's notable to mention.
Yeah, I unconsciously keep saying Lunchable because it is very explicitly just.
Well, that's why they called it something really different than Lunchable.
One of the letters
so that
is
you wouldn't get
different.
Yeah. So we got the crackers up first. So you get this comes with 7 loose crackers.
Emphasis on loose, by the way. This compartment is enormous. This is gonna be smacking left and right. Kids are not delicate with their backpacks.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out as dust.
Notably, it's real cheese instead of the cheese product. I remember Logan Paul talking on Twitter about that.
It's not even that's the wrong side. The
Doesn't
cheese is
why. Okay, I have so many questions about the packaging, but I'm just gonna start simple with a cracker because we don't. These crackers, they just
It's a cracker. Yeah, it's a cracker. It's like a Ritz, right?
That's a Ritz-alike. It's what do they call it? A butter cracker or something like that.
Yeah, I think
It's just a fucking cracker. I don't know what to tell you. I'm waiting for what the sell is, other than it being.
It's healthier,
brand.
is what they say. So I know that Lunchables come with candy, but I'm just thinking about these two things dominating the product by weight, and then like there's also a few crackers in here as well.
It literally feels like the product was led by like, what
Can I
if
see
we
the
got
box?
this enormous kind of mid drink and then we just got a bunch of chocolate? Oh, and what else do we need? I don't know. crackers?
This giant ass box containing a 230 calorie meal is so wild to me.
And even this is mostly empty space.
Yeah.
Like the inside of it thing, this could be half the size. And what is this cavity for? This big hole.
It's
here.
really
It
funny.
looks like it was made for something else.
It looks
the
like it was
thing-
made for
yeah.
like ammo. This thing's huge.
All of this stuff,
Well,
like
empty.
none of the stuff that they're doing is like out of the ordinary. I do want to say that, like, they are just like putting a product in a market that already exists, and the thing is that they're marketing it as like healthier than their competitor, at least in their materials that they're filming and producing. But yeah, it says all your faves in one box, Prime, caffeine free. They have to note that it's not the energy drink. Mr. Beast Feastables plus epic ingredients. Epic ingredients like
some turkey, some wet turkey.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like this is not like, it's just marketing,
It's
right?
normal.
Yeah.
It's normal, but
food.
it's just very funny to market it like that.
It's just an extension of the regular Prime show where it's like, hey, you've had this, but look, Mr. Beast is on
Yep.
it.
It's epic.
Actually, the most epic turkey. I love it.
Yeah,
I would
dude.
call it epic bacon, but it's turkey.
It's more swag than that. I would even go so far
Okay,
as to say.
yeah,
Oh,
turkey.
The cheese is perfectly adhered together.
As it should be.
I assume there's Elmer's glue in between each layer.
Okay, now for the cheese. I'm trying them individually. Yep, and that's real cheese. And they're allowed to say that. I would assume, because they said it. I do think it's funny that they made such a big deal about the cheese product thing, and then it says contains a bioengineered food ingredient, which is fine. Like, I'm like, these things just happen.
I'll tell you what, mate. The size of this box, this is like 230 calories. If I eat this,
Yeah, you
just
eating the
give me
cardboard.
cereal. if I'm going to carry this much, it'll weigh less. I'll carry milk with me, I guess. This is literally just a box of, I don't know, Cocoa Puffs or whatever.
The big one I'm excited about is the pizza, because to this day, I think Lunchables pizza is good. And the other one is nacho chips with queso blanco and salsa. So now we've got the Prime hydration drink. I've been drinking my coffee this morning, so I'm a little parched. It's
But with
diuretic, so I'm losing water, losing moisture. So hopefully,
boy, will Logan Paul help me? I was just
so this is like the famous Prime color, right? Or Prime flavor. This is Ice Pop. This is
Yeah.
the one that looks like the ice cream thing.
it's the little it's the most little kid coded one.
And so Prime this one bottle has 5 calories, which must mean that they're using some sort of artificial sweetener, right? Sucralose, is that
Jordan,
one?
do you want to try strawberry?
Yeah, they use
banana?
sucralose.
That'd be incredible.
Um,
It's not banana. The fuck?
and I guess the electrolytes of choice, potassium. They've got 400 milligrams of potassium in here.
It's a very unappealing color blend.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
No.
All right, here we go. Here's my first test of Ice Pop. It tastes like I'm drinking a refrigerated, melted down Ice Pop.
It's the only one I've ever had, and I hated it. I hated every sip that I had.
It's extremely sweet, and I think that's accomplished with like the sucralose, and it doesn't have the normal like salty kind of flavor of a electrolyte drink that uses sodium. But put a pin in that because I think we'll come back to that later.
Yeah. So
You want to try? You've already tried it.
that's
I'm
what they were
good.
going for, right?
Right.
Was melted ice pop.
Yeah, which is like not something I want, but if I'm a kid, maybe that's more. It's just like not the type of thing that I would want.
Wash it down with some strawberry banana.
It's just cloying. Is that the word? You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
drinking really dark green coffee,
Right.
And it just like web in your mouth.
It coats your mouth.
Let me wash it away with strawberry banana.
I will also say they sent me this like aluminum bottle, like reusable bottle that looks like a full size Prime bottle, and this is actually sick. I will say this is nice.
I do like getting bottles, just containers.
I
Rock.
just love a container, But funnily enough, I have a different electrolyte powder that I like to use that is not sponsoring us yet. And we would name you. So we would name you so much if you sponsored us. But, and I like this because it's the right amount of ounces to put water in and then put my favorite rehydration beverage in. Let me get one more sip of the ice pop, okay? That's not, it's just like, you know, there's like a certain sweet activator where you're like not ready for it. And it's just like a little sickly sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jacob's pulled up something here on the
what's
monitor. Prime Energy. Sports drink contains PFAs and excessive caffeine. Class action lawsuits say.
Okay.
Okay, so it appears that there's a number of class action lawsuits. I don't know if these have resolved, but I guess it's an allegation of forever chemicals in the plastics. Now these are ongoing things, and I'm just
It's unrelated, obviously, to what we're talking about. It's just that this is the same company, same brand, purchasing with Lunchly, of course.
Notably, this is Prime Hydration, and the one with caffeine is Prime Energy, which we can also.
There's
try
also
the
does
pop,
still exist. Okay,
ice pop flavor of that.
And as we say, this was April of this year. No resolution or really acknowledgement that I'm aware of. But this is ugly.
That's a spooky one.
Oh, that is the season glowberry. But let me hold on. This is way more palatable because energy drinks all taste like garbage.
So for that, Logan, congrats.
So actually, you're killing it.
One cookie.
You know what I mean, though, where it's like you drink an energy drink and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, there's some stuff in that."
Yeah, it feels like doing a shot.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm supposed to be
like I don't enjoy tequila,
but I'm working towards something.
I do understand there could be market confusion between these because this one says energy drink right here, and that one says hydration drink.
Almost imperceptible versus what is this? Impact
Prime.
font 10,000 for the logo.
Yeah,
more or less. But it's not that they obviously trying to
I just
hide the
tasted
difference
the
between brands.
glowberry,
Hmm.
and it reminds me of something from my childhood. I can't put my finger on it,
Ghosts.
but it tastes like
cheese. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
ghosts, I guess.
Yeah, probably a ghoul.
Someone
Wait, can
who
you-
was haunting me.
I mean, this is.
I'd hold you.
I guess this is like the amount of caffeine that's in like a Monster or something.
Okay.
But 200 milligrams of caffeine, that's like 2 cups of coffee, right?
That's silly because what's nice about that is it is too, like a child's eye is almost completely indistinguishable.
Oh, Prime's advertised 200 milligrams of caffeine is equivalent to half a dozen Coke cans or nearly 2 12-ounce Red Bulls. Wait, that is actually remarkable.
It's as we say, this is just something Jacob pulled up. Unrelated, obviously, to the
Well, this is just like a USA Today article that we found because we were just looking to learn more about Prime.
the product that we're oh so curious about. The suit continues to say that, quote, there is no proven safe dose of caffeine for children. Side effects of kids consuming caffeine could include rapid or irregular heartbeats, headaches, seizures, shaking, upset stomach, and adverse emotional effects on mental
Yeah, I
health.
didn't drink caffeine as a kid. I think the most concerning thing for me as an individual is that we talked about the charged lemonade from Panera Bread.
Yes.
Or Panera, they don't call it Panera Bread anymore, right?
They don't have any bread.
So no more bread, they're out. And the thing that is confusing was an issue there is that their what was it called? I said it before. Charged. The charged lemonade was just in like a cup, and it had like more caffeine than even Prime, and you could refill it. The issue here to me is that this is the exact form factor of a Red Bull, but with twice the caffeine.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you can, sure, I guess you can make the claim that kids should know, and the kid can buy it themselves. This isn't marketing itself directly to children. Yeah, I guess that's right. But it's a little bit like if you put the Paw Patrol on a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, kind of feels like it's,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when the people advertising its audience is quite young. Like I have yet to meet I guess now with WWE there are like 30-year-old Logan Paul fans, but
just to clarify, because one of them is a can, no one could make a mistake with
no
these.
one could make a mistake.
One of them comes in children's lunches, and one of them is 2 Red Bulls.
That is such a good point. That is such a good point. Okay, well, anyway, that's probably nothing.
Just an unrelated thing or whatever.
That's probably nothing.
That's probably the last lawsuit associated with,
Yeah, there's probably not. Yeah, I mean, and anybody can file a lawsuit.
For any reason, maybe out of spite.
So this is the pizza. Okay, first note is these feel smaller, but there could have been shrinkflation that has happened to Lunchables ones as well.
Because of Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of this guy, huh?
Oh, and this one comes with cherry freeze. Let me get a quick taste of the cherry freeze. They smell like identical. This one smells a little bit more like you dunked the ice pop in like lemon.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, that's the same. That is exactly the same.
That's all right. Have you tried the Glover yet?
No.
I'll just sniff it.
Right.
So that's not an energy one.
No. These are bottles, which means hydration. I just sniffed my microphone.
Yeah, how's it smell?
I think I've had a little too much caffeine.
Something somewhere.
Okay, wait.
Full of plastic.
It reminds me of something from my childhood.
Gushers.
Oh, Gushers.
Is that what it is?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
what it is,
wow. It
100%.
smells like Gushers.
I think it smells, Logan, appalling.
Okay, you gotta go.
Not like literal shit, like that's one of the worst.
No. I will say this does smell like Gushers, which is a candy that I love, and I always want my hydration drink to smell like a candy.
Yeah,
that
like
I love.
something that like a kid would really enjoy.
Yeah, Gushers. Smell it again. Do you get Gusher vibes?
That's totally what it is.
I'll throw out though. Of course, this one no kid can be. Does this one have caffeine even?
No.
No.
Bottle.
Bottles, right?
Yeah,
doesn't
that's of
have
course.
caffeine.
Sorry,
He keeps
me
getting
an adult. Didn't
No, now
really,
now you're 30, and you just keep getting confused because you're so old and stupid.
Let's just say I was born in
Yeah, a
19.
child has a new brain.
Yeah,
And so they'd be
and their
fine.
brain would never make that kind of mistake.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So sorry, the
Bottle equals hydration.
Yes.
Right.
Can equals power.
Power.
No, this one again, I forgot. It's the form factor of, and kids know about caffeine, how it works, like whether or not it's good.
And also-
they see it in a can and they go, Red Bull, definitely. I shouldn't.
I just want to also add that the youths
Ew.
that I know,
If that friend that's a baby.
my friend that's a baby, they all brag about how much caffeine they drink.
Right. That was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the pizza.
I did use to
This is our starter like pizza dough.
Oh, okay. And that goes.
But it does. I'm gonna eat this raw because or not. You don't cook it first of all, but I'm gonna eat this straight just because I have a good taste memory for the Lunchables pizza because maybe I've had it recently as an adult, so it's pretty close, if not the same thing. So that's good if you're like trying to compete and maybe in like two similar products with one has better marketing. I mean, like Coke and Pepsi, you know?
Wait, hold on. Is the Lunchly font almost exactly the same as the Lunchable font?
Oh. Whoa. I mean, yeah, they're doing the drop shadow
Slightly
thing.
different, but there's lots of similarities.
Well, the Lunchly font has followed the house. Oh yeah, the letters like kerned above the other letters. Look at that, like the Y on
it's like a
Lunchly.
drop. Yeah, it's like the same.
my
But I mean, whatever.
You know, it's an accident, I'm sure.
Okay, with pepperoni, it passes the Lunchable pepperoni test. It's fine. I do want to point something out, and this doesn't matter. It's just funny. And this is, if we did the same thing to Lunchables, this would probably be the case. The cheese is matted down like my hair when I sleep without a bonnet on, which is very funny.
Yeah, trying to pull that right here.
Yeah,
the
just like,
base.
it's all just like,
You can't see how bad it is, but you can feel it like when you touch the back of your head.
And if I run water, like before the show, I like jumped in the shower a little bit, ran a little bit of water through my hair. and it just like comes back alive like a plant.
Should we pour some water into the cheese?
Are you gonna construct a pizza?
I'll let Jordan construct the pizza. I'm creative. This pouch and the pizza sauce, like I have again another good, taste memory. But the issue with this pouch is I'm not sure where, like the Lunchables one has a little spout and it shows you where to tear. I'm not sure where to tear here. Oh, I think maybe here.
Could you? Okay, we'll do a little test to see if a child at lunchtime could easily open.
A famous dexterity of a little kid.
Oh no, I'm scared. Wait, am I an idiot?
Is it
You
just
want
going
me
to
to do it?
explode?
Okay.
I'm just like not sure.
We're grown-ups.
Like
Yeah,
normally,
he's wearing
shouldn't there be a
white
pull tab somewhere? I'm
Yeah,
like,
it looks like,
looking.
why is
There
this?
should be like a little like cut.
Like, can we all inspect this?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to explode.
Oh, Jordan bit it. He got it open.
This literally does feel like I'm doing surgery.
BB tried the turkey and cheese and said, if you gave me a Lunchable or this with my eyes closed, I couldn't tell the difference. The not sure if the cheese is different, but the turkey and cracker sure are the same.
Yeah.
But Feastable bar was a nice.
Ooh, yeah. I will say the Feastables bar, that's a product that's been through its iterations. I think the first run of Feastables wasn't my favorite. They changed the recipe. It's like better. Okay, so what's the headline on that article? Oh, interesting. Wait, real quick,
I have to wash my hands real quick. Did Jacob pull something up?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to take a quick drink of the Glowberry, which is, I guess, 'tis the season.
Ooh, spooky.
Oh, Jacob. This is, I think Jacob just opened a random tab. It says, Logan Paul's prime sports drink hit with lawsuit from bottler.
Oh, that's this one.
Refresco alleges Congo Brands, which sells the hydration beverage, backed out of its agreement to sell the drink. Wow, that's from August.
Yeah,
okay, so that was last month.
They did that on purpose, or there was some kind of mistake? I pray it's not true. There would be a real concern if this.
I guess it says
Refresco claims part of its agreement with Prime involved establishing a production line for plastic bottles at the bottler's facility in Trusett, Missouri for 3 years.
Right, and then Prime says that they repudiated the agreement and told the bottler it will be moving away from the facility. But my understanding is that when you sign a 3-year contract, you can't just leave the contract partway through. But I'm not a lawyer, and I don't really understand. I don't know what. I will say this hits, like, for me, I'm with BB in terms of, like, it feels like they must have tested, like, they must have tested these, like, double blind until they got it almost exact. Because the degree to which this is the same is really impressive. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, this one's rough. The strawberry banana. I mean, I'm not a big artificial banana flavor guy. There's just one that doesn't work with for me. It's like a cilantro.
Oh, I haven't tried that one yet.
Honestly, if I were a kid, though, I would love this. Like, I had such a sweet tooth as a kid that I think I would have loved all of this.
And the thing is, we don't know the...
Stop drinking it, Jordan.
I hadn't tried that one.
We don't know, like, as a society, what's going to become of artificial sweeteners. But
I don't like the cherry one at all.
like
the
research, I think is generally like, don't take the risk. A lot of people are saying. So I don't know if I would want my kid to have a drink that was just like predominantly artificial sweetener,
But
and from what I've heard, also, I don't know if this is true. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry.
Which one is that?
The banana.
It's rough.
The artificial taste, those gobstoppers, like the banana and the gobstoppers, like Willy Wonka candy. That has always been like postmarked in my brain as like the artificial banana. And I'm tasting it here, but I don't want to taste it in a...
It's like a chemical.
Yeah.
There's a chalky chemicalness to it that I really can't.
That's why I think it
tastes
like a smoothie.
You know what? This is maybe more palatable. Because I'm not doing the thing with my face. Runts, that's what it was. Not gobstoppers, runts.
Oh, I recognize the little banana. We had a different brand, I guess, but that little banana. It was like, oh,
all right,
shit.
I guess last but not least, we've got the what was this called? This is called nacho cheese.
Fiesta nachos.
Fiesta nachos.
Oh,
This is
okay.
Spanish.
This was always my favorite Lunchable.
Oh, really? I've never had this one, even as a Lunchable.
So I have to say I'm a huge fan of the tiny round tortilla chips.
I would always grab like
So
5
many.
of them and then dip them in.
Okay, yeah.
The
That's good.
queso's not bad, but taste that quote unquote salsa.
Dude. This is so AMC.
Oh yeah.
It tastes exactly like AMC.
Huh.
The
Which is
salsa
not a
tastes
compliment
like
necessarily.
ketchup or tomato paste.
The salsa feels like it has it feels like someone took like tomato paste and put taco seasoning in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has like
Fun
the
that they did.
aftertaste.
And
Have you
didn't
tried this,
stir.
Jacob?
Here, I'll hand it back.
Yeah.
Got it.
Then maybe you should be the host. You need to get your own show.
Jacob, I need your taste test if this was
there's
your
no
favorite.
texture to it.
It's really weird, right?
I keep grabbing this drink
Because
and
it's
then
in
I-
the drink
and then
area.
I go, ooh, I don't know if I want it. It's like I feel like I get punished for drinking it.
Just random thought, by the way, because obviously, that, I'm sure some people would push back. Again, hate to harp on it.
Yeah.
They would say, like, well, this is shaped like an energy drink. Nobody's going to mix that up. With the charge limiter, that was an adult that didn't understand how much caffeine was in it, and
That's true.
that slip up happened or whatever. And then you could say, well, the kid can't buy the energy drink themselves. To my understanding, the kid probably isn't doing the grocery shopping. Probably an adult that can buy anything and probably got a request to buy Prime. And then they see that it's in a lunchy
And
package.
also-
They're like, it's fine to get it. I'll get the canned one.
Yeah.
Also, kids, can think for themselves. They're gonna ask for these things.
Yeah.
Because their favorite guys said it.
But it's not marketed towards children, so there's no reason that they would want to get the exact same coloring and branding of the other one.
Right.
They probably think it was they definitely wouldn't just think it's an aesthetic difference. They
Jacob,
would
what's the
know,
review?
Right?
It's unfortunately flavorless.
Jesus, he's pissed.
It's the interesting thing too is in their promo video, they brag about how their salsa isn't as runny as Lunchables, but I'm like, I don't know if I want gelatinous, like thick salsa that.
Runny is like a famous element of tomatoes. You know what I mean?
And this tastes like tomato paste.
It does. Tomato puree. It tastes like it.
Yeah.
Roasted bell pepper. Is there any? Again, if I was more cynical, I would say that this product is essentially a ghillie suit, camouflage for getting kids even more invested in Prime as a brand. But again, I'm
and
not cynical.
Feastables, yeah. But wait, what is the calorie count on the? Is that 360? Yeah, it's exactly the same number of calories. I mean, like everything's calculated, right? Like it's a Chris Kyle-esque, sharp shot.
A hero.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to really say about the product. It like costs roughly as much as its competitor, as long as we're including the version with the drink, and then it tastes like, again, if you like close your eyes, it tastes pretty similar. Even the pizza, which is like such a unique, like most people don't like the pizza, like adults don't really like the pizza who didn't have the memory for it. I that was like the creme de la creme of like a nice snack. I would like beg for that. And it tastes more or less like I expected to. So yeah, I mean, I think that the issue is in the marketing.
Maybe the insidious.
And then also again, I have no horse in this race. The Feastable bars are good. I mean, like it's
The crunch ones are.
yeah. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, we've tried Feastables in the past because they obviously had Jarvis's address and gave it to Lunchly, but they were good.
I can't have a strong opinion about the product itself. I think the product itself is a very conservative and near carbon copy of Lunchables.
And it's partly.
And Lunchables are not a replacement for your lunch.
I think the mission obviously is partially to like be a competitor in a market that could use one and that they'll make money off of that, but also kind of in the same vein that Mr. Beast's videos primarily function these days as a conduit to promote and grow the brand of that's where the actual revenue comes from. This feels like a tactful move to further cement Prime and Feastable's primary audience of children. If Feastables, of course, had a version of this milk chocolate that was, I guess it's just a theory, that was, maybe mildly full of carcinogens or like potentially kind of has plastic leaking into it. Or,
yeah, I mean, we got to look into this.
something like, but who's, or maybe had like a bunch of like caffeine inside the chocolate for some reason, then I would probably have an objection to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, does the Mr. Beast milk crunch bar compare to a crunch bar? I would actually say yes. A lot of these things are made with the same sourcing of ingredients at similar factories. Like, it's, you know, if you get like one from Trader Joe's or something, it like feels the same way. Where obviously I don't think they white labeled this. I think they like worked on it. They probably put work into it. It's very clearly a money making thing. It's very much like there is an opening in the market. We have a big influence in the market that Lunchables is. It feels very calculated, and why wouldn't it be? I think these are people who've become very, very rich and successful off of like being very calculated and being very strategic at the expense of, you know, other values that one may hold. There's also another lawsuit there's another manufacturer lawsuit.
Now yet a third company claims that Prime can't pay its bills. Agrovana is a Massachusetts-based importer, which says it has provided over $70 million, surprisingly close to the $67 million, worth of ingredients to Prime since 2020.
We just found this video by Legal Eagle. We just got swept in. I mean, that guy has really good videos. We're gonna link to Legal Eagle's video.
Exceptionally reliable, very resourceful when it comes to citation, and I'd say a pretty trustworthy source. He has a video called "Everyone is Suing Logan Paul," which, I mean,
that's crazy.
A lot of people are, but it's probably for no reason at all, I would imagine.
Yeah, it seems like they're jealous. Anyway, we'll link that. But food was good.
Yeah, you know, the food is pretty good. The drinks just truly taste like piss and doo-doo. But, you know, in case you want to be...
Not for me.
You want to be sort of like, allow Logan Paul, notorious good bloke, to, in a gradual and sinister way, erode at your children's awareness of how health and access to caffeine should work. It's, you know, it's a pretty good way to intro drug, if you will.
Yeah, that's Jordan's opinion. I kind of think that these Prime drinks are so sweet that they would mask alcohol really well. And you could make a mean cocktail.
Ooh.
And it mean in that it would probably smell like Gushers.
Yeah, and you'll probably have to sue them.
Yeah, give you like a very strong flavor. Okay, well.
Yeah, well, I will say, you know, to Logan Paul's benefit, at least he's not, you know.
At least he's not personally suing anyone.
Yeah, well, because that would be, you know, kind of
just seems like a lot of
self-involved
lawsuits, especially not someone like CoffeeZilla who.
Another extremely reputable source.
Yeah, he's like just out of, you know, like he's talked about these things and kind of has a lot of journalistic integrity to him. And Logan Paul himself has gone out to praise CoffeeZilla's work, only to later threaten a lawsuit, renege it, and then
apologize separately on a different video.
Separately and then sue him again.
Right, because which almost, again, where I'm more cynical, I would say warrants some questioning of Logan Paul's integrity, both professionally and personally, as does kind of the last history of 10 years of him doing pretty egregious shit and not apologizing for it.
I like his flips.
Dude, he's so epic. Moonsault, am I right?
He's really good at flips.
But yeah, bad bloke.
Your words, not mine.
Bad bloke.
We'll link CoffeeZilla's video about the Logan Paul situation and his he's fundraising because he doesn't have the financial resources that Logan Paul does to carry this lawsuit to trial. So
defend himself against a frivolous lawsuit.
You know, shout out to CoffeeZilla for the work that he does. I always get sucked into his content. Shout out to Legal Eagle for just putting some stuff together. I don't know. I'm just learning a lot here. I'm just trying to eat I'm just trying to eat the pizza.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Have a little snack, and all of a sudden I just keep accidentally coming across these articles about the actions of Prime and Logan Paul by extension that I would have questions with, but
I just want to snack on my Fiesta tacos.
I'm just trying to eat my wet salsa.
No crumbs.
I want to leave no crumbs. And look at all the crumbs. Yeah.
I personally think that Lunchly is bussing, and Lunchable...
And I'm on the battle bus.
Lunchable is goofier.
Yeah, goofier.
You know what I mean?
Goofier, yeah. Okay, wait. So everyone's responded to the criticism about Lunchly. Oh, Dan TDM, OG YouTuber, Dan TDM.
Who basically responded to this Dexerto post about like the whole Lunchly thing.
Right.
And he said, what happened to YouTubers? Like, I can't not say anything anymore, and basically criticizing about them marketing a product towards kids who are easily susceptible towards like this kind of like marketing, and it's very clearly like geared towards them. Like, this is a product for kids.
Well, I don't, okay,
Yeah.
I guess, if you say so.
Yeah. And then Logan,
Well, Logan Paul's known for his like measured and considered replies to things.
like that thread about when he didn't understand the movie Nope.
Yeah, and he was annoyed by that.
Yeah.
And that time he posted the most manic-looking serial killer style note about how he'd figured out the universe.
I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build, put the dun, 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 dun. And now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead.
Jesus.
But when we create a better version, you're upset? Then
And
don't eat it.
I don't think you're in danger of Dan eating.
And then there's
Should he be bringing up lead?
Oh no. The Ice Pop Prime hydration found in the turkey stackums also has report of lead contamination. No, not our Ice Pop Prime.
We just drank.
We just drank that.
Jesus Christ.
No.
So you're saying even if it's not the energy drink version, it might still pose, maybe not great health effects on children? Okay, wow. I just don't know what to do.
And then I do think that, you've won the argument when it says accounts at Logan Paul follows or mentioned can reply.
That's worse than just nothing. Just let
Yeah.
people clown on you. That's so much more embarrassing.
Can you go to his feed? Because I think he then later said something to Elon Musk, and he was like, hey, everybody. Oh, wait. Always a pleasure to expose the lies of @Community Notes. By the way, they removed that note because it's a lie. Or wait, no, it got marked as needing more votes because it's not true. And although it's gone, it's not removed. And then he added Elon Musk. He's got to, complain to a richer man.
It's not gone though, right?
And then now it's back. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I got the votes.
And then as of the publishing of the note, the community note on the aforementioned tweet has been reinstated. So
rats.
yeah.
Now, are there open replies on this one by any chance?
And then they say, another. So Logan Paul says another lie from community notes. And then that got community noted and said, this isn't a lie from community notes. The commercially available 12-ounce Ice Pop Prime has 500 milligrams of potassium on its nutrition label. The 500 milliliter bottles are 700 milligrams of potassium. And that's
Does the math for you.
It helps him out.
Did the
'cause,
math.
I mean, why would he know? It's not, his responsibility. To do his
right.
job or
Interesting.
whatever.
Okay, so what other responses do we have? Mr. Beast responded. Oh, so he does respond to criticism. Interesting.
Right.
He responded to the criticism that affects the product that he's selling.
Yeah, just coincidentally.
Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it, which is true. And like clearly that's transparently like why they want to get in the market. It seems like a big addressable market. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative to it. Okay. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories. Okay, but 80 less calories doesn't mean good. Like you need calories. You need calories to live.
Especially as a kid, when your metabolism is fine, you can
also, that's like may as well say less product, right? Okay.
Well, that's like if you eat a whole peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that's going to be more calories than if you eat half.
Yes.
Right?
True.
So that's what they're doing.
Well, so half of a peanut butter jelly sandwich is then more healthy, I think.
Yeah, that's better.
Right.
In fact, if you just have like a couple of the like little bits of cheese, like little bits of peanut butter that fall out of it, that counts as, I think, like a good meal.
So obviously eating fresh chicken and broccoli is healthier, but if someone is going to eat pre-made meal, which millions of people do through Lunchables, then I think giving them a higher quality version at roughly the same price is a net good.
That's why they launched
Like,
it.
again, we didn't say the product itself was bad. I think it's the issue that people are taking is with the marketing of it, because it's very clearly I think it's, you can't hide behind like a noble cause.
And people will
With something like this, where
they see. I saw a reference the other day. I forget what it was specifically referring to, but like every single generation, basically since corporate advertising and corporate advertising language became codified around the 50s, basically. Prior to that, it was much more like cultural jingoism is where you saw a lot of PR style speak. But then, Mad Men era comes around, and then that's where it starts saying things like, "Why would you smoke a cigarette? The cigarette is bussin', actually." And there's like every single generation since then finds PR speak less palatable
Right.
every single generation. And it is so bizarre to me. Back in the Patreon days, half of my job was literally just explaining to people, like, internally and associated with us, like, don't talk like this to people. It is off-putting. It's intuitively off-putting, and you're off-put when people do it to you, but everyone has to talk and phrase and paragraph break responses like this, like it's some kind of like religious practice. Like, you can't take the Lord's name in vain. You can't write a response with less than 500 words. It is so transparently unsettling. There is no one you need to convince that you're doing this altruistically. It doesn't benefit you. No one is like, oh wow, it's
out like
honorable.
Dan TDM for like having merch. What's interesting is that like it's not like YouTubers can't have businesses. Like, we sell merchandise, right? We have a subscription to our Patreon. And you know, like Dan TDM, who like this tweet went viral. You know, he has a U2s. I had a U2s. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like. I think what the issue is the transparency, because no one's saying, like, people, you know, it's like Ludwig like started working on financing games and stuff like that, and tons of YouTubers like have created other businesses that are fine. Like Zach from the Try Guys has a tea company,
and no matter how motivated it is by like genuine interest or passion, or at least some wanting to invest in workers, it is embarrassing to try and frame it as like heroic. I'm doing it because I just want to help. I'm like, oh, what is this really? I do more of the curing blindness. if that's your only interest, I mean, I think I have a priority that jumps above.
I mean, I guess I just can't. You know, I don't have the issue with like making money or doing a business thing.
I have issue with the insincerity.
The insincerity, yeah. It's just like not. It just feels like you can like see through it. What did Dr. Mike say?
I wanted to go further and do the comparisons myself using the nutrition facts from the Lunchables and Lunchly websites. And it's honestly really hard to draw perfectly clear conclusions for several reasons. One, I don't have nutrition facts for each part of the kits. For example, how many calories come from Feastables versus the food component. Second, some of the portion sizes aren't the same. The turkey cracker kit from Lunchables is 82 grams, while Lunchly's is 72 grams. 3, there are so many varieties of Lunchables that just swapping out the flavor of Capri Sun causes significant differences in sugar and calorie content.
At least these things are just the right size meal for kids. I think that's something we can all agree on. I'm sorry, Dr. Mike has something to say.
Oh, no, wait.
Well, let's look at the recently passed nutrition standards set forth by the USDA for school lunches and see how Lunchly compares. Going line by line here. Less than 10% of calories should come from saturated fat. Lunchly turkey, 23% of calories come from saturated fat. Less than 10% of calories should come from added sugars. Lunchly turkey, 10.4 comes from added sugars.
Mr. Mike, it says must be implemented by July 1st, 2027. They're working on it, okay? They have a few years.
They're going to take even more food out.
They're going to take more food out. They're going to take 23% of the food out.
It's just one cracker. And
Yeah.
one slice
And they
of
go,
meat.
dude, our product is incredible. It has less fat, less calories.
USDA caloric guidelines say that a lunch meal for kids K through 8 should contain around 625 calories.
Calories are like viewed as such a bad thing that it probably is a societal blind spot in the criticism of this, because people just go, oh, it has less calories than Lunchables, so that must mean healthier.
Well, no one ever advertises high calorie. So
Which is so
Unless you're a bodybuilder.
the existence of low cal implies the badness of cal.
Yeah.
like we as a society we've really failed, I
We
think, in
kinda
a
messed
lot of ways.
everything
We've
up.
messed everything up.
Teensy weensy bit of it, I do think is like a class bubble thing, in the same way that a lot of people are just like, well, what if you don't want your kids to be unhealthy, then why don't you just cook every night? It's like, because they're working like 10 hours a day minimum,
Right.
2 different jobs,
Including
they've got a
the
night shift.
commute, yeah.
Like it's just
Plus,
like
it can
they
be more expensive to cook at home than
Exactly.
to get like a
and
burger somewhere.
in the exact same vein, this is just like, oh well, why don't they? Shouldn't they be aware of what kids? I have not read this study. I don't even have any children. And I am somewhat aware of macros, right?
Yeah.
I didn't learn anything about nutrition. I literally didn't know what protein, as in like what protein is in, until I was 21.
Yeah.
And because I moved to the US, where people are actually a little bit more verbal about it. I never heard of reference. We don't, especially like in a meal, you would never say, "Oh, this sausage is a protein." Like protein's like a chemical in the brain.
Right.
And it is, I think, a little bit of like. Everyone knows the rules of food. And I'm like, it's like everyone knows the rules of finances.
Well, I mean, yeah,
No,
we've really
teach
fumbled
any of
this a lot of times. Obviously, we're not experts, and we're commentating our non-expert opinion.
Which is a couple doctors.
We are attempting to like lean on the opinions of, if not experts, people who are far more qualified to speak on this, who are also citing, who are citing things.
Kids need energy to function, and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories.
That kid would collapse carrying that much weight around in that backpack.
I think he also does a thing there. Yeah, I'll let it play out.
And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium,
which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under eating calories or overeating sodium.
Can I get one of these without a drink?
I don't know if yet you can. But what I heard is that that sodium is electrolytes actually, and that means that it has 1,300 times the amount of electrolytes as the fucking losers at Lunchables.
It's
yeah, we always know that. We know electrolytes across the board are good.
Yeah, you
right?
just need as many as possible.
My kid,
because you are static shock, and you need your electrolytes.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sick to death of my kid being so weak. Creatine in his smoothie every single morning.
Dude.
I'm bulking this young man up. It's cutting season, so no carbs. He's very tired.
God. Can you imagine telling your kid it's cutting season?
Dude. And he's just a shredded, miserable
Have
child.
you seen those little kids who are bodybuilders?
I've seen them, and I don't want to see them again.
Okay, let's.
Because I'm jealous.
One more thing that I wanted to look at is there's this guy who's a sports scientist that I watch to learn about NBA player injuries. But he did a video about this as well, and I'm curious his take. Can you look up Brian Sutterer?
I made this little joke about sodium getting rebranded as electrolytes because that's really what's happened. We've taken things like sodium, potassium that historically have been thought of in a very respectable fashion.
Let's say I'm a billionaire, right?
Okay.
Just multi-millionaire, let's just say.
Okay.
I'm probably busy on my yacht.
Mm-hmm.
What I do not do, sure, I'll do my marketing-related posts. Probably not even me, probably an intern. What I am is emotionally secure as a result of going through a lot of experiences professionally, making several apologies, certainly not doing frivolous lawsuits pettily against people who have made extremely valid criticisms.
All right, you're losing me.
But the last thing I would do is get caught up in a beef and
true.
just constantly quote tweet people with like the same energy as someone removing you from their MySpace best friends list.
Logan seemed to take offense to my tweet here, calling me a sports medicine doctor, saying that I can't tell the difference between sodium and potassium. Logan, I assure you, I can. I understand the basics of hydration here, and we're going to talk about it and dive into this.
Can you believe that Logan Paul has the gall? He even read that this guy was a sports medicine doctor and then put it in quotes.
Which I don't, it
And
doesn't
then
mean
said,
anything.
"You idiot."
The guy, like, I get that it's Twitter, but like, if the guy's name on Twitter says MD, I'm going to double check that he,
He's a
like, oh, maybe he might be a
medicine
doctor.
doctor?
It was fucking, this is the whole thing where it's like, don't trust the experts.
Yeah.
It's
Do your
all
own
fake
research.
news. Do your own research. And it's like, no, doing your own research doesn't mean like reading a conspiracy theory on like a fake
Yeah,
website.
what? He did his own research.
Yeah.
That's the
Also, I
full
just
sentence.
love that someone who is a doctor is saying a very smart, witty thing.
Right.
Like, it's funny, but it's also very smart. It's like, yeah, this is crazy how sodium got rebranded.
Right.
And then Logan Paul responds in like the most childish way possible.
Yeah.
You don't know what potassium is, you idiot.
You idiot.
It's also very cringe how he always capitalizes Prime.
It's like if you poured fucking if you poured like a entire canister of Morton salt into an energy drink, you could still put on the label that it's electrolytes.
And then Mr. Beast, this was something that he posted on his account. And this is really the highlight, the crux of this. More electrolytes, Lunchables, yes, hundreds of millions of units. Their product, 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, more electrolytes. Generally speaking, our bodies do a very, very good job of managing the proper balance of electrolytes. We shouldn't have to rely on external supplementation of electrolytes beyond our food for just normal daily healthy function.
I'm just getting sucked into this video and I'm going to watch it my own time.
It's just a good video.
Yeah, I like this guy's videos a lot. They're very interesting. If you end up watching, you're not for the faint of heart if you don't like watching videos about injuries. But quite literally, he will open up a 3D model and start talking about doctors, they have to do so much memorization. He's like talking about all of the Latin terms for like all the fucking ligaments in a leg, and it's crazy.
I feel like you could get through medical school a lot quicker if I was allowed to call it hurt leg.
Yeah.
If I didn't have all like back of knee bit.
Yeah, you used to just get to be a doctor. You just gotta say, I'll help.
If you knew what a shin was.
And then you were like, let's, what if we just drained some blood out of your body? Is that gonna help?
Me, what this thing, this hurts.
Oh, okay.
Me, you know.
No, don't high five. Can I help it? Is it better now?
No.
It heals naturally. I did it.
It hurts a lot more right now.
No, but it'll be healed soon.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Just drink this drink.
Drink this Prime.
We obviously we're going to link the video. But the gist of one of the major points he's making, which is something that I have heard before, and it's a lot of the criticism of Prime. I've maybe even mentioned it. The purpose of these drinks is to replace what is lost by excessive sweating. And primarily the thing that you lose when you're sweating excessively is sodium. And that's why up to this point, most of these rehydration drinks use sodium as the electrolyte, dominated by the drink, because it's the dominant like electrolyte that you lose in sweat. Prime, and this is like more of a theory and kind of like what people are positing. It appears that it is possible, just covering my bases here. It appears that it's possible that Prime is simply putting a ton of potassium in these drinks so that they can say that they have more electrolytes technically without being, while only having 10% of, while only having 10 milligrams of sodium. This one has 30 milligrams of sodium, but
it's kind of operating on the same.
But it has 700 milligrams of potassium.
It's kind of the same rule set as, just taking stuff out. Where like it's actually less calories.
Yeah. Or like fat free. But you're putting all this other gunk in there.
Yeah.
That's like unnatural.
This LaCroix is fat free. Okay, I guess.
All right. Well, again, we're not experts. We're just, sharing some stuff that we found interesting. And
just
then
a couple of lawyers.
Well, and we also did what we are an expert is what we like, and we tasted Lunchly, and it tastes exactly like a Lunchable. So congrats on that, I think.
And then we tasted Prime, and don't
like it. Oh yeah. So before we wrap up, so
you
we're
may
gonna
notice something different about the couch.
So we over on our patreon.com/sadboyz, we have been doing these mailbags that we're doing monthly, but we don't know the cadence yet. We don't know that they're going to be monthly, but we have had people send stuff. They are free.
It's just a free.
Oh, yeah, this stuff, there's a couple of different free pieces of content. Like, for example, today we're going to have an episode of our Magic Moment, which is our Magic the Gathering little free episode so that we can spare the regular listeners us yapping about it. But we want to talk about some of the big dramas. And if you've been following Magic, the big drama that happened this week. You can also find a free video. Again, you can even access this without an account, but you can make an account. You can follow us on there and get access to all this free stuff. And then if you would like, you can also subscribe to our $5 a month subscription using your discretionary entertainment spending, which gives you access to, are we over 100? No, not yet. We're at 7. How many episodes do we have of the
Nights?
80. Wow. We're getting up there.
Creeping towards 100.
Creeping towards 100, but we're at 80%, 20% less actually than 100. 20, no, but we have 80 episodes of our Patreon exclusive podcast. You get access to all of those with a minimum subscription of $5. There's some other content for the higher tiers like watch alongs, but again, none of that is required. We just wanted to shout out this blanket
Crazy.
that someone made by hand.
Really nice quality.
It's really nice quality. They also included analytics on like the amount of stitching and the amount of
I want to say
colors.
her name is Katie.
I believe it's Katie. Kate. Kate, thank you so much. Also, can we maybe share this cotton yarn? This big photo of cotton yarn. Oh my God, I didn't realize we had in progress photos. This is incredible. Truly incredible.
What is there? Oh my God.
Wow. I mean, we just feel very lucky to have the community that we do, and wanted to thank Kate on the main show. And no obligation to send in anything.
But thank you.
And also no promises that we will end up looking at your mail. So just know that like this is just a little community thing that we do over on our Patreon.
We got through a small chunk of it in like 90 minutes.
Yeah. So we're working through that, but we are going to head on over to our Patreon now, and I'm going to talk about my unlikely encounter with yet another creator that I've made a video about. Whoopsie. And the conversation that ensued, and then some other stuff as well.
I'm going to be doing a bunch of karate. I'm practicing a backflip. I'm able to do a double right now.
Yeah, you're a doctor, a lawyer, and a black belt.
And a cowpoke.
A cowpoke, a cowboy.
That might be a redneck.
And a reverse cowgirl.
Oh, yeah. Should we close up with one final, you might be a redneck?
Oh, let's do it.
Oh, okay. You might be a redneck if you tell Grandpa he has something in his teeth and he
takes it out.
Oh, and he
removes his dentures to look. He removes his dentures to look.
He shoots it out with his 6-shooter. He blasts his own head off.
And he takes them out to sea.
Let's go! I'm learning.
That's kind of just being old, though, isn't it?
We end every episode of Sad Boyz with a particular phrase.
Anastasia, have you ever done the "and we're sorry"? We could do the guest style. Actually, do you two want to do "and we're sorry"?
Yes.
Ooh, we love you.
And we're sorry.
Oh, boom!
Best one ever.
All right, we're gonna keep it going on the Patreon. See you there. He came up to me at this mixer, and I think he was like, "Yo, man, no worries about the video," or something similar to how Ethan Kaiser did. But I try to have a rule of like, I never say anything in a video that I wouldn't be comfortable saying to the person's face. And I said to him, like, are you at least being nice about it? And he's like, I like to think I have a good balance. And that's like, it's like, agree to disagree.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl, how's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.